Large parts of Taranaki, along with Northland, Waikato, Horizons and Marlborough Tasman, have been suffering drought conditions for the past few months. It's been an especially tough time for dairy farmers, struggling with a lack of feed while trying to keep milking. On one coastal Taranaki dairy farm, though, things were already starting to look a little green when I paid a visit. It's feeding time at a Janet Fleming's Pihama dairy farm in Taranaki. She has two non-negotiables. First, the farm is organic. And second, she only milks her cows once a day.
So we only milk once a day, but I still feed my cows like a twice a day herd. So we always feed them again in the afternoon, but just don't take them to the cow shed. And I think that's probably the not being judgmental, but some mothers that have tried once a day, they maybe only feed the cows once a day, but to get that, if you want to do that same production once a day, you need to feed them the same. Yeah, if you want the same production, you've got to feed them the same. So bar this year, with really serious drought, we've bottom line for us has been better once a day milking than twice a day, just with slightly reduced production, but cost savings across the board just way outweigh it. That's without even factoring in the lifestyle balance. That's just a perk of it, really. This property here is 132 hectares, 120 effective. We've got a couple of rivers here. Generally calve around 320 cows. Milking once a day. This is just finishing our 8th season, milking once a day. That's something that, take to my grave, basically, that the property will always be organic and once a day. I don't want my family to have to learn the same way we did, that most profitable and enjoyable way to farm is once a day milking. It's better profit end of the day, better animal health, and the lifestyle balance is just a real bonus at the end of it. And at the moment I'm employing 3 staff. It means that I can really manage their hours and they get lifestyle balance as well. So the plan is that outside of calving, or if we've got some major job on, that everyone's finished for the day by 3 o'clock and can spend time with their family or surfing or do whatever they like, really.
The main farm near Opunaki was converted to organics over 20 years ago out of a desire to eat better quality food and be proud of what the family was producing. This season has been one of the more challenging Janet's experienced, though she credits organic principles with having seen the farm through it.
They're calling it the worst drought in 50 years, and it's been tough on everyone. I really feel for the contract milkers, those that have had to dry off early, that obviously won't have any income until they start milking again next year. That's often the young families. I've been farming quite a long time now, and it's been tough going, but once a day milking, it's meant that we've kept our cow condition on right through, and with our support block that we've got, we had a huge amount of supplement on hand, which we're just finishing off now, but I was able to purchase some more organic supplement that's just arriving this week. Hard to watch your whole farm looking brown, and I always move the cows when I get home from work in the afternoon or at night, and there was a few days that I'd move the cows at night and the cows would be running out of the paddock before the last ones even got there, looking at me saying, you've put us in the wrong paddock, boss. But that was the best I had at the time, and there was actually nothing else to offer them. They were well fed, but they usually moving a paddock for cows means moving on to good feed, but they weren't. And 10 days ago we got 38 mils of rain. A couple of days ago we got another 12, and if we can keep getting that 10 mils a week or a really big dumping of rain, the whole aim now is to build up feed for the winter.
Being an organic farmer, I suppose you don't have some of the same tools available to other farmers in terms of growing with fertilisers and things like that. What is the secret to getting good grass growth when you can grow it?
If you had asked me that question back in 2004, 2005, when we first went organic, that was real tough to grow grass back then, because we'd been so used to that knee-jerk reaction from urea, that you put urea on and next day you have grass. Obviously we can't chuck the palm kernel on either, but now I feel like our toolbox for animal health and fertilisers is as big as a conventional farmer. There's multiple choices for fertiliser now, which I believe a lot of conventional farmers are using the same fertilisers because they are a lot more longer lasting, better for the soil, but it's the grass you're growing too, is to having that diversity of grass. Like you can see where we're standing here, the chicory and plantain, that their roots go down a lot deep. If you get your soil structure, let the plants grow longer, let the soil structure, you're not damaging it with the urea. The plants get the better root system and they actually get the nutrients from the soil. So that's what I mean, the recovery from the drought. We're in a major drought 2 weeks ago. Our cows are actually going into green grass, and like you just saw, some of it's starting to blow in the wind. And our whole farm because the whole property was decked we're going to have an abundance of grass within probably 2 to 3 weeks. So we are on really good soil here because of the monga in the ocean too.
Janet has also joined Venture Taranaki's Branching Out trial, growing botanicals like calendula, licorice, ashwagandha and angelica in one of her paddocks. She walks me through the diverse mix.
Well, before my husband passed away, we started work on a succession plan, and we've got organic land here that doesn't, dairy farming will always be our business, but you can take little bits out that won't necessarily affect the milking platform. It's a limited resource land, full stop. Organic land is even a lot smaller resource at the moment because, I feel like we're 3 years ahead of others that are still thinking about it because probably, a lot further because it takes 3 years to certify land, but it takes a lot longer really to learn about it and really get down that journey so you are growing good grass. It has got us interested in what can we grow, and part of it was that, really interested in the botanicals, but also as part of a succession plan for those members of the family that didn't want to get into the dairy farming side of it, but it's just another interest, and there is the kids are interested in it. So,
do you feel like the organics movement has grown in terms of interest and demand for organic products in more recent years?
I don't think I've been asked about my dreadlocks of Roman sandals for about 10 years now, but that was when we first went organic, and there was a group of us that converted to organic similar time around the coast. We've talked about it several times that people just were waiting for us to fail and get back on their journey. The fact that all of us have stuck with it and wouldn't change back, I think is testament to that it is what we all feel is the way to go. But I think probably what's changed more is the public demand for organic food has changed more than, I don't know if the grower base is growing that much, but there's the perception is organics is now a niche product, whereas it was probably seen as in the past as maybe something that organic by default, or things, people that didn't use fertiliser, it was organic, but now I think it's seen as probably the most minerals and nutrients is your organic food. So I think that public perception has changed, totally done a full circle really. Yeah.
And is this your second growing season with some of these crops?
Yes, it is, this is second. So we're doing the 4 main ones. We're doing ashwagandha, angelica, calendula and licorice, and then we've dabbled in the garlic as well.
Should we go take a look at some of the crops?
Yeah.
So this is the calendula with the beautiful orange flowers?
Yep. That's the hard part with the calendula was that a lot of last season's calendula reseeded, and so we couldn't actually... We had calendula popping up in all the other crops as well, but it was just from reseeding from last year.
So you've tried to do like a rotation? Or?
Yes, they've all changed places this year. Yep.
Yeah. I now know what ashwagandha and Angelica look like, so I can identify those.
Good work. Yeah. Angelica is thriving this year.
Yeah, it seems very happy. And also it looks like the ashwagandha's reached some good heights there as well.
Yeah. The ashwagandha's... last year, it looks way better than last year, actually. Yeah.
Have there been any challenges with pests and things like that, or with growing conditions?
They've actually done really well, considering how dry we've been. We got a bit of water onto the licorice and some of the later planted angelica and ashwagandha, but the ones that were in earlier, they were taken off, so they haven't been watered right through, really. They got through the summer. They were already quite established by the time we got dry, and we had water restrictions here too, so we had to be pretty careful about what we could water and what we couldn't. So we did our best once a week to water the young ones, but they've actually done really well considering.
No, they look fairly pretty happy and well established and things. Not too many gaps in the rows or anything like that as well. Is there one that you seem to have a particular interest or particularly keen on pursuing further, possibly? But early to tell? Early to tell,
like the angelica seems to like it best, but I think if we could grow the ashwagandha successfully, that's probably, just from talking to health friends in the health circles, ashwagandha seems to be what they just want to get their hands on, just New Zealand grown ashwagandha. It's just nice to have that ability to try things out.
That was Janet Fleming I was speaking to on her organic pihama dairy farm in Taranaki. Things are looking even greener this week after she got 36 millimetres of rain in the last few days.